It's the voice of the Cardinals. I am BJ Walters, and I am joined by a probably the most influential member from the 2024 Carrington baseball team, and that's not my opinion, that's the opinion of the team. Associate head coach Rick Christianson, and a week out, with everything you guys had to deal with adversity-wise, from the weather to a slow start offensively, you look at the year on the whole. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I thought that the kids improved all season long, and I thought we were playing pretty good baseball there at the end, as was New Rockford and Lemoore. They seemed to play pretty good ball as well. But I thought there was improvement all year long, and we were thrilled to see that.
You look at the team, and at the beginning of the year, 2-6, the offense had not really gotten going. And in talking to all the other coaches in the region, they kind of mentioned that in years past, maybe that could have rattled Carrington, but they point directly to your influence on the kids, that everyone seemed calmer. You couldn't really rattle Carrington. Did you notice a change with the kids this year?
Well, I can say from an observation, I'd done some announcing at the region tournament the year before. Prior to that, the whole tournament, I did the state legion tournament here and so forth. And from what I remember and seeing them play and so forth, they certainly stepped it up a notch and improved a great deal from last year and playing all summer and then through the high school season. I've just done the same thing I've done for 40 years. I try to be straightforward, and that's just how I approach things. Wayne and I have been friends for a long time. I coached against him for, 18 or 19 years, I guess, and so forth. So got the same ideas. I mean, we want them to play hard, play the game right, and whatever happens, happens.
How valuable and important was that for you to get back into coaching, for it to, be offered by a close friend of yours in Coach Shipman?
Well, it meant a lot. My wife passed away 3 years ago, and she was probably my biggest supporter and fan. She sat at many ball games. My two sons played for me, of course, over at Mid-Coda through the years. But I wasn't sure how I would go, but it really was fantastic. It was actually therapy for me, I think, in a way, to be around the kids again and see the way they responded and so forth. I'm really happy that it turned out this way.
You enjoyed it so much that you got to put a little pressure on your buddy, Coach Shipman, by signing your contract first in 2025. It sure sounds like Coach Shipman did not know you were going to do that. Can you sort of take us through that? And if what you did was a little intentional to get him back here next year? Well,
he had asked me about before, probably a week before we actually got the contracts and turned them in and so forth. But he asked me if I was going to coach again. I said, well, I will if you will. And he said, okay. And he was a little concerned about Grady going to Valley City and playing and being able to get to games and stuff like that. And I just told him, well, I mean, I've been coaching a long time. You know that. If you need to go on a Saturday and it's a Saturday-Sunday deal, I mean, I can take the team and play. I mean, it's not like you're going to be gone lots and lots and lots, and that. But so he said he wanted to, and he had talked with administration and everything. And so I'm glad. I love the game. I'm not sure that I want to do all the things that you have to do as a head coach, Wayne handling everything. But I mean, I know I could if I had to, and that. But I really enjoyed being his assistant and helping him out. And you come to practice, you work with the kids, all these cancellations and things like that he had to deal with and do all those things. But I did that for 29 years, 30 years over there at Mid-Coda too. But no, it's been wonderful. I really enjoyed it. I owe a lot to the kids for listening and wanting to have my input in things and so forth. And I'm not one a lot of times that takes compliments easy, because I just feel like you need to do a job, and when the kids respond, that's kind of your reward. That's about all you really need.
My first thought when I heard that, you had resigned, thus kind of forcing Wayne's hand a little bit, was you guys must really enjoy this particular group. You've got a very nice junior class. Tate leading a sophomore class that looks like it could be pretty special. Just how impressed are you by this group, and how much was that a factor in your decision?
Well, it was a factor for sure. We feel like we have a good group of kids coming back. We unfortunately only had a couple of 8th graders and a 9th grader, which you'd like to see some more, which I think maybe next year we're going to have 7th graders come and play and so forth. And that's what I did for years over there, just to kind of, get them interested in that. And then, of course, there's the other activities and dual sporting and things like that. But, yeah, I mean, I was really impressed with some of those that are sophomores and juniors and what they showed me they lost quite a bit from last year on the high school team. And some of those will be back this summer now that, played last year and so forth. But, no, we look forward to it. We think we can be very competitive, and hopefully they can get a lot of games in this summer and get better.
Associate head coach Rick Christianson joining us. So when you look at the group at the end of the high school season, are you talking to the guys about things to work on during the summer, or is that more kind of their time to figure out what adjustments they need to make?
Well, I think we kind of do a little bit of both. You want to see if they can take what you've tried to teach them and so forth and go further. And I know Jaden's going to coach, and he played for his dad and played college ball for 4 years at Valley City and that. So they know what it takes. It's hard work. I mean, and that's so not so much. And even when I'm coaching them or trying to do whatever, I'm not trying to put pressure on them and stuff like that, but I'm trying to get them to understand that when you play this game, it's probably one of the few sports where there's as many disappointments. And, you hit 300 or 400, you're doing pretty doggone good. And when you make an error, you got a chance to redeem yourself when the next play and that. And they've had good coaching. They've had a good Legion program and Babe Ruth and those kinds of things. And I was asked to do something with Legion and that, and I said, I appreciate you asking, but I'll be 64 on the 4th of July, and I've been going to the lake for some time in the summer, so I'll be, when I'm home, I'll come up and watch and cheer them on. I wish them nothing but the best, because they're a good group, really a good group to be around.
So you were the head coach at Mid-Coda for a long time, now an associate head coach along with Coach Shipman. In the state of North Dakota in particular, how have you seen the game of baseball change over the years?
Well, I would say that years ago, you had a number of guys that really knew the game very well. I mean, they knew what you wanted out of them, and that maybe being, I coached over there, T-ball, Pee Wee, Babe Ruth. We didn't have Legion, so some of the kids came this way, and they won a state championship here with them coming over and joining forces with Carrington and that. But I think that there's so many things going on now around the summer where there's all these football camps, volleyball camps. That's not with baseball, of course, but those kinds of things. They have a little bit of an effect on, because you don't get that full effect, I don't think, playing in the summer that you might. I was talking to a couple of the kids and stuff like that, and they said they had a football camp and basketball camp, going on and stuff like that. But I think the work is there. You just got to try to get them to, buy into that it's repetition, and it's over and over and over again, trying to get them to do the right thing and not having to think about it, react and do it.
Coach Shipman made a mention to me in an interview that you can see on our YouTube page. If more kids put more time into baseball, that's where you can really, in that sport more than any other in North Dakota, you can go to the next level. Do you see that maybe taking place in the near future, more kids focusing more on baseball because they do see that as a collegiate opportunity?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but there is no question, whatever type of an athlete you are, you can be short and stocky, tall and lean, in between, whatever, and you can play this game. They can find a position for you, and if you can hit, there's always the designated hitter spot that you can be at. But I understand what he's saying, and I agree with that. If you put the amount of time in there that you're putting in with all the basketball and the football and those types of things, I think they definitely would be better. They'd understand the game, a little bit better as well. But that's just how things have gotten. And it was around with that because I was a head girls basketball coach over there. I was assistant boys for 20-some years. And you just tried to balance that out a little bit, but there just seems like there's just a lot of pull for these things. And I don't know that I want guys just to focus on playing baseball either. Playing those other sports makes you a better baseball player. It's different muscles you're using. There's different levels, of course. Your team might have more at this. You learn a little adversity here. You learn a little bit there. I really believe that that's important as well. You got dual sporters and that, and I'm not opposed to that, but you have to choose one that's your number one, and then two, and you got to try to balance that out a little bit. But I think just it's true. If you work more on it, you're going to obviously be better. For
Definitely.
Sure.
Well, it has been a pleasure getting to watch you coach the kids this year. We are all pumped up for 2025. I know that's a whole winter and summer and everything away, but Coach, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you. Appreciate it, BJ.